The pattern in the static Dex's boots rang against the metal deck plates as he jogged through the maintenance corridors toward Bay 7. His heart still hammered from the encounter with Admiral Strand, from the weight of what he'd just done. The quantum relay was installed, the data was flowing, and somewhere in the diplomatic sector, Dr. Voss was analyzing information that could change everything, or get them all court-martialed. He burst through the access hatch into Bay 7 to find organized chaos. 3 corvettes sat in various states of disassembly, their hull panels opened like the petals of mechanical flowers. Sparks rained from welding torches. Diagnostic displays painted the bay in shifting blue light. Marines stood at every entrance, their rifles held at ready positions that somehow managed to look both casual and lethal. "About damn time," Cole's voice boomed across the bay. His supervisor stood beside Corvette 3, hands on his hips, his weathered face creased with frustration. "I've got 5 crews working triple time to get these birds ready, and I'm short-handed because half my people are on lockdown in their quarters." "Sorry, Chief. Had to. Don't care." Cole thrust a diagnostic scanner into Dex's hands. Corvette 3's showing intermittent power fluctuations in the starboard maneuvering thrusters. "Engineering says it's fine, but the pilot refuses to take her out until someone he trusts checks it personally. Guess who that someone is?" Dex blinked. "Me? You're the one who found that hairline fracture in Corvette 7's coolant system last month. Saved that pilot's life when the system would have blown mid-flight." Cole's expression softened slightly. "You notice things, Holloway. So go notice if there's something wrong with those thrusters before some hotshot pilot gets himself killed." The words echoed Admiral Strand's earlier observation. "You notice things others miss." Dex climbed into the Corvette's maintenance access, the cramped space forcing him to work on his back, surrounded by conduits and power relays. His hands moved automatically, checking connections, running diagnostics, while his mind churned. What had Dr. Voss found in that data? What pattern had she recognized in the Zeta-Seven attack? His datapad chimed. He pulled it from his pocket, expecting another message from Cole. Instead, he saw Dr. Voss's identifier. Observation Deck 12. 20 minutes. Come alone. This changes everything. Dex's hands stilled on a power coupling. 20 minutes. The fleet launched in less than 3 hours. Whatever she'd found, it was urgent enough to pull him away from his duties during a station-wide emergency. He finished checking the thrusters, finding, as expected, a microscopic stress fracture in one of the fuel injectors that would have caused a catastrophic failure during high-G maneuvers, and reported to Cole. "Good work." Cole made a note on his datapad. "Now get to." "Chief, I need 15 minutes. Cole's eyebrows rose. "You need what?" "Personal emergency. 15 minutes, maybe 20. I'll work a double shift to make up for it." For a long moment, Cole just stared at him. Dex had never asked for personal time. Not in 6 years. "Not once. You're acting strange tonight, Holloway." Cole's eyes narrowed. "You in some kind of trouble?" "No, sir. Just something I need to take care of." Another long pause. Then Cole sighed. 20 minutes, not a second more. We're launching a fleet, and I need every hand on deck." Dex nodded his thanks and headed for the exit, feeling Cole's puzzled gaze following him. The maintenance corridors gave way to public passages as he climbed toward the observation decks. Yellow alert status had transformed the station. Civilians hurried past with worried faces. Marines patrolled in pairs, their body armor making them look like armored insects. Overhead speakers announced updates. All military personnel report to duty stations. All civilian personnel maintain current locations. Repeat, maintain current locations. Dex kept his head down, his maintenance uniform and tool belt making him invisible as always. He passed a checkpoint where Marines stopped a merchant demanding identification. They didn't even glance at Dex. Observation Deck 12 was one of the smaller viewing areas, located on the station's outer ring, where the curvature of the hull created a panoramic view of Earth below. Dex had cleaned it 100 times, knew every corner, every seat, every fingerprint-smudged viewport. Dr. Alara Voss stood alone at the main viewport, silhouetted against the blue-white marble of Earth. She wore her uniform, but her usually immaculate appearance showed signs of strain, her dark hair slightly disheveled, her posture tense. When she turned at the sound of the hatch opening, Dex saw shadows under her gray eyes that hadn't been there before. Dex! She glanced past him, checking that they were alone. Thank you for coming. You said it changes everything. It does. She pulled out her datapad, fingers moving rapidly across the screen. The telemetry data from Zeta-Seven's defense platforms. I've been analyzing it for the past 2 hours. The attack patterns, the energy signatures, the tactical approach. She looked up at him, and he saw something in her expression that made his stomach tighten. This wasn't the Critharium. Then who? That's the problem. I don't know. She pulled up a holographic display that showed Zeta-Seven, a small mining colony orbiting a gas giant. The defense platforms recorded the attack for 17 minutes before they were destroyed. The raw data shows weapons signatures that don't match any known hostile species. But you recognize something, Dex said, remembering their earlier conversation. You said you saw something familiar. Dr. Vos nodded slowly. The tactical patterns, the way they approached the colony, the sequence of their attacks, the specific systems they targeted first. She met his eyes. It's human. The observation deck seemed to tilt. What? The attack patterns are human military doctrine. Specifically, they match protocols from the outer colony's defense force. She pulled up another display showing tactical diagrams side by side. Look, the attackers disabled communications first, then power generation, then defense platforms. That's textbook OCDF strike doctrine from the Frontier Wars. The Frontier Wars ended 40 years ago, Dex said. The OCDF was disbanded and integrated into the regular fleet. Officially, yes. Dr. Voss's voice dropped lower. But there were always rumors, rogue elements, officers who refused to accept the peace accords with the alien races, hardliners who believed humanity should expand through force, not diplomacy. Dex felt cold. You're saying this was a false flag operation? That humans attacked our own colony to blame it on aliens? I'm saying that's what the data suggests. She closed the holographic display. But here's the problem. The fleet that's launching in 2 hours and 43 minutes, they're preparing for a Critharium incursion. Their tactical loadout, their formation, their planned approach to Zeta-Seven, it's all wrong if they're facing human weapons. Then we have to tell Admiral Strand. I tried. Dr. Voss's expression was pained. I sent a priority message to his office 20 minutes ago. His aide sent back a standard acknowledgement. Nothing more. Either he's too busy to review it, or what? Or he already knows. The implications hit Dex like a physical blow. You think Strand is part of this? I don't know what to think. Dr. Voss turned back to the viewport, staring down at Earth. He knew about our operation. He tacitly approved it. But why? If he wanted the truth, he could have accessed that data himself. He's the station commander. Unless he can't, Dex said slowly. Unless there are people above him who would notice if he accessed classified files. But a maintenance worker and a xenologist? We're nobody. We're invisible. Dr. Voss turned to look at him, and something shifted in her expression. You're not invisible, Dex. Not anymore. Before he could respond, his datapad chimed. Both of them tensed, but it was just a standard station alert. Fleet launch sequence initiated. All non-essential personnel clear launch bays. Repeat, clear all launch bays. 2.5 hours, Dr. Voss said. That's all we have. To do what? To figure out who's really behind this attack. To find proof that will force Strand or whoever's above him to listen. She pulled up another file on her datapad. I've been cross-referencing the weapon signatures with our database. There's one match. A prototype weapons system developed 10 years ago by a defense contractor called Meridian Dynamics. The project was classified and supposedly canceled after the prototypes failed field testing. But the energy signature from Zeta-Seven is a perfect match for those prototypes. She met his eyes. Meridian Dynamics has a research facility on this station. Level 9, restricted sector. Dex's mind raced. You want to break into a restricted research facility during a station-wide alert? I want to find out if someone on this station is arming rogue military elements with illegal weapons. I want to stop our fleet from flying into a trap. Her voice was steady, but he could see the fear in her eyes. And I can't do it alone. Dex thought of Cole waiting in Bay 7. Thought of his 20 minutes of personal time rapidly evaporating. Thought of 6 years of being invisible, unremarkable, safe. Thought of Admiral Strand asking him if he was content. Level 9, he said. I know a maintenance access that bypasses the main security checkpoints, but we'll need to move fast. Dr. Voss's expression transformed with relief and something else. Respect. Thank you. They left the observation decks separately, Dex leading the way through maintenance corridors that grew progressively more restricted. The deeper they went into the station's infrastructure, the fewer people they encountered. At level 9, the corridors were almost deserted except for automated security systems. Dex pulled up a maintenance schematic on his datapad. Meridian Dynamics occupies sections 9A through 9D. The main entrance will be heavily guarded, but there's a ventilation maintenance access that runs along the exterior of their lab spaces. Can you get us inside? I can get us into the maintenance space. After that, he trailed off, studying the schematic. There's a fiber optic data junction that services their network. If we can access it, you might be able to pull their files remotely. Might? I'm a janitor, not a data thief. This is new territory for me. Dr. Voss almost smiled. You're doing fine so far. They navigated through increasingly narrow passages until they reached a junction box marked with Meridian Dynamics' corporate logo. Dex opened it carefully, revealing a maze of fiber optic cables and network hardware. This is it, he whispered. Can you access their system from here? Dr. Voss pulled out a small device, similar to the quantum relay, but more sophisticated. This is a network tap. It'll give me access to their internal files, but I'll need a few minutes to bypass their security. She connected the device and began working, her fingers flying across her datapad. Dex kept watch, his heart pounding. Every distant footstep, every mechanical hum made him flinch. Got it, Dr. Voss whispered. I'm in their system, searching for, oh God. What? She turned her datapad toward him. The screen showed a file directory labeled Project Reclamation. Beneath it, dozens of subdirectories: weapons development, fleet coordination, target acquisition, colonial operations. And one more: Zeta-Seven strike assessment. Dr. Voss opened the file. Dex read over her shoulder, his blood turning to ice. It was a complete tactical plan for the attack on Zeta-Seven. Timeline: weapons deployment, expected casualties, all prepared weeks in advance. And at the bottom of the document, a list of names: senior military officers, corporate executives, and government officials. One name stood out: Admiral Victor Strand. No, Dex breathed. He can't be part of this. The data doesn't lie. Dr. Voss's voice was hollow. He's listed as a tactical consultant for Project Reclamation. Before Dex could respond, alarms shrieked through the corridors. Red emergency lights flooded the maintenance space. Unauthorized access detected, a mechanical voice announced. Security teams responding to Level 9, Section 9B. All personnel maintain current positions. Dr. Voss yanked the network tap free. We have to go, now. They ran through the maintenance corridors, the sound of boots and shouted orders echoing behind them. Dex's mind reeled. Admiral Strand was part of the conspiracy. The man who had asked him about purpose and contentment, who had tacitly approved their investigation, was working with the people who had attacked Zeta-Seven. Unless... Dex grabbed Dr. Voss's arm, pulling her to a stop in a junction between corridors. Wait, think about this. If Strand is really part of the conspiracy, why did he let us access the data? Why did he practically encourage us to investigate? I don't know, but we can't. He's setting someone up, Dex said, the realization crystallizing. He knew we'd find his name in those files. He wanted us to find it. That doesn't make sense. It does if he's not really part of the conspiracy. If someone put his name in those files to frame him. Dex's thoughts raced. Or if he's running a counter-operation and needed someone outside the command structure to uncover the evidence. Dr. Voss stared at him. You're saying he's using us. I'm saying maybe we're not the only ones investigating this conspiracy. The sound of approaching security teams grew louder. They had seconds to make a decision. Dex's datapad chimed. A message from an unknown sender. Maintenance access 9F. Exit now. Trust me. Dex showed the message to Dr. Voss. She looked at him, fear and uncertainty warring in her gray eyes. Do we trust him? Do we have a choice? They ran for maintenance access 9F, finding it exactly where Strand's message indicated. The hatch opened to reveal a narrow escape passage that led down to level 8. As they descended, Dex heard the security teams reach their previous position, heard the confusion as they found nothing but an empty corridor. They emerged on level 8 in a quiet maintenance bay. Dex's datapad chimed again. Another message from VS. You found what I needed you to find. Now comes the hard part. Report to my office in 1 hour. Both of you. We have work to do. Dr. Voss read the message over Dex's shoulder. What's he playing at? I don't know, Dex said, but I think we're about to find out. His datapad chimed again. This time it was Cole. Holloway, your 20 minutes are up. Where the hell are you? Dex looked at Dr. Voss, then at the message from Strand, then at the countdown timer on the wall display showing the fleet launch in 97 minutes. Everything was accelerating. The conspiracy, the investigation, his own transformation from invisible maintenance worker to... What? Spy? Investigator? Pawn in a game he didn't understand? He thought of Admiral Strand's question. Are you content? The answer was clear now. He'd never been content. He'd been waiting. And now, finally, terrifyingly, the wait was over.